Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into one of my absolute favorite mental models. It is so simple, but it is an incredibly powerful tool for just cutting through the chaos and finding a clear path forward, no matter what challenge you're facing. You know that feeling, right? Where you have a problem, maybe it's at work, maybe it's something personal, and it just swirls and swirls around in your head. It feels less like a specific issue and more like this giant, messy cloud of anxiety.
Exactly. When a problem just lives in our minds, it feels infinite. It gets all tangled up with our emotions, our fears, all of our assumptions. And it's almost impossible to see where the actual problem begins and where our feelings about the problem end. You don't even know where to start pulling on the thread. But what if there was just one simple action you could take that would immediately slice through all that confusion and give you some solid ground to stand on? Well, there is. And that's exactly what we're going to get into.
This amazingly elegant solution is called Kidlin's law. Now, it's not a scientific law or anything. It's more of a powerful rule of thumb, one that can totally change how you approach solving problems. And here it is, in all its beautiful simplicity. Kidlin's law isn't complicated at all. It really just comes down to two key things: the physical act of getting the problem out of your head and onto paper, and the mental discipline of defining it clearly. If you can just do that, you are already halfway to the finish line. Let's just let that sink in for a second. It doesn't say you need the answer. It doesn't say you need some big, elaborate plan. It just says that the act of achieving clarity, that is half the victory. I mean, that's a total game changer, right? So, why? Why is this simple little act so transformative? What's the magic that happens when a thought leaves our brain and lands on a piece of paper or a screen? Well, it's all about making that journey from chaos to clarity. I mean, this contrast really says it all. In your head, that problem is a tangled emotional mess. It's vague, it feels like it could go on forever. But the moment you write it down, everything changes. It becomes structured, objective, specific. And all of a sudden, it has edges, it has boundaries. It's a real thing you can look at, not some abstract fog you're lost inside. Yeah, this process of what we call externalization is just so powerful. It forces you to be specific, right? You can't just write work is stressful. You have to write down why it's stressful. And that immediately separates the raw emotion from the objective facts. And maybe most importantly, it gives you a real tangible starting point. You finally know which thread to pull first. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get super practical with the how. Here is a simple 3-step framework you can use right now to apply Kidlin's law to pretty much any problem you've got. It's really this simple. First, just state the facts. I haven't completed the project report and the deadline is this Friday. No emotion, just what's happening. Second, define the ideal outcome. What would solved actually look like? Be specific. The report is finished, submitted, and my manager is happy with it. And then third, identify the real obstacles. Okay, I don't have the final data from the marketing team, and I'm a little unsure about how to structure the conclusion. See? Just like that, it's not some vague stress monster anymore. It's a list of concrete issues to tackle. Now, this part is absolutely crucial. When you're doing this exercise, you have to resist the urge to jump ahead to the solutions. Your only job, your only goal in this step is to get the problem statement perfectly clear. Perfect clarity is the target. The solutions, they'll often just start to appear once you do. So, by following this process, you've actually done something pretty amazing. You haven't just made a to-do list, you have fundamentally changed the nature of the problem and your relationship to it. You've claimed that first 50%. And this says it all. Getting to a place of perfect clarity isn't just a warm-up. It's not step 1 of 10. According to Kidlin's law, it is half the entire journey. The hardest part, wrestling with that unknown, undefined mess, that part is over. And this is the most important thing I want you to walk away with. The moment you write the problem down clearly, the solution actually starts to reveal itself. The structure, the missing pieces, the obvious next steps, they all begin to emerge from the clarity that you've created. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about that messy, tangled knot that's been taking up space in your head. What would happen if right after this, you just took 5 minutes to write it down with absolute clarity? What problem will you choose to have solve today?